Hi everyone, this is CVGS, it's me Leon, and today we bring you a very special video that we want to do for a long time, and that is a deck profile video. Alright, and the deck profile video is for this deck that I love so much, the Blaster Faiz deck, alright? Or in short, Kamen Rider Faiz deck itself. Okay, one of the reasons why we are doing this is also because on the 24th March, there will be a game event that we are hosting called CVGS Games Day down at Escape. Link in description is right below. And for that particular event, there is a Battle Spirit tournament that we are hosting that has a special regulation that requires 75% of the deck to be from the collaboration booster, while the remainder can be straight out from any of the mainline series, BSC, BS, or whatsoever. Alright, so without any further ado, let us get straight to the deck profile. Okay, right now with my deck already broken down right here, if you wish to see in clearer detail, okay, link in the description is right at the bottom, so you can help us out to that. But first of all, let us start with the key spirit of the deck, which is Blaster Faiz. This is a very important card to this deck, as it's both your main focus and your finisher, as the abilities allows it to deal a lot of symbol damage in one go the moment your opponent blocks with his spirit. And for the fact that even if he doesn't block, he is usually going at about 3 symbol, 4 symbol depending on what you do, and could even be higher. Okay, so this is a very important card to the whole deck, and everything else here supports either to it or to the play for more efficiency. So now moving on to the next cards in line, which is next we need to start out with the House of Knock. This is also very important to this deck, one of the supporting cards to the player as well as towards Faiz, because he's a burst card that activates upon opponents on attack. When the Spirit Ultimate attacks, you may activate this burst and summon this card without paying the cost. Then when this card is summoned, you can destroy a 10k and below spirit. If you do so, you may pay the cost of 1 to summon a cost 6 red or purple spirit from either your hand or from your trash. This is very important. You can only summon if you destroy. If you fail to do so, that's okay. You can just summon this card without doing anything else. Alright? And in this defense, when he attacks, okay, this card allows it to remove 2 costs from a spirit and ultimate as well, making it quite universal. And let's say the opponent ultimate has no armor whatsoever, you can deplete them from there, and it will help you greatly in the long run. And also for the fact that it also is a cost 5 and above, it also helps with Blaster Faiz Radiant Descent ability. Moving on to the next in line will be Mugesha Dragon. This is one of my favorite cards. Even this is also part of the mainline series cards. This card allows you to take back all your costs at the beginning of your start of your attack step. That includes your Soul Core. Okay, and how does this help to support the rest of the deck? Very simple. Because for Blaster Faiz, you Radiant Descent during your turn, so you would like to drop this during your main step, correct? And that's where you lost your Soul Core. But this guy can help you retrieve the Soul Core together with the rest of the costs that you have used before going to your attack step, so allowing you to get ready for a change effect if you need be. Okay, and in defense as well, during your attack step, flash timing level 2 and 3, you can also remove a core from the field to destroy a 6k and below spirit. And let's say if you remove a Soul Core, you can destroy 12k instead, which is really helpful. Although it is a bit on the high cost side, but that's okay. Next, this is mostly towards player support. This is the Dragon of Knock. So the Dragon of Knock on summon, it allows you to draw 2 cards, and if your hand size is 6 and above, you are allowed to remove 2 costs from one of your opponent's spirits, which makes it very efficient. And on level 2 and 3, where this spirit attacks or block, you can destroy an opposing exhausted spirit. And why is this card important? And it looks a bit hard to summon, but that's where the House of Knock comes in. There, you see the link here? And also still contributing to Blaster Faiz Radiant Descent. Next, this is a staple for just about any Kamen deck for the most part, is Kamen Rider Faiz Excel mode. So this is your burst, your life reduced burst. So when this card is activated, you may destroy up to 2 spirit that only has 1 symbol each. And then after that, summon this card without paying the cost. So this guy itself is already very good at destroying things. It doesn't even care BP, just straight up symbol. Then this attack ability you probably wouldn't use so much, but it's still helpful if you do, is that when this spirit attacks, you may draw, when you destroy a spirit there's BP lesser than it, you get to draw a card. Of course, what is really important about this card is that it's unaffected in the burst zone when you have Kamen cards in your trash. So this is also very important, and still again fulfilling the requirement to Blaster Faiz. Following up is Delta. Kamen Rider Delta. I take 3 of them for some reason. But for Delta is an anti-brave card. When you use a change effect for him, you destroy one of your opposing brave and this card is treated as colorless. So it's important against things like as armor or whatsoever because it becomes colorless, and it's also unique in a way that it doesn't have a change restriction in terms of how many costs that you need to change it for. For most change card, you have a like cost limitation of 6 and below, 7 and above, etc, etc. Okay, but he doesn't care. But he only needs to care about whether the spirit is a Kamen or Inferno Lord. So you have to think note, but he is also very, very important to that. And for the fact that it's quite cheap to change, and you can start an early game rush if you are able to, especially together with Mugisha Dragon when your calls are back. Okay, moving on to the next card is the Crane of Fenok. The Crane of Fenok is important as it helps you to draw on summon, and at the same time to destroy an opponent Nexus if you have another existing red spirit on the table. And in addition, in her level 2, she's treated as a red spirit as well together with red symbol. So it helps very greatly with the reduction. Next, following up is the latest addition to the set, which is from CVGS, the Snake of Fenok. The Snake of Fenok plays a very vital role to this entire deck for the following reasons. One, aside from the fact that when you're on summon, he allows you to draw 1, and yeah, it's just like another purple card. Okay, but what's important about it is that when you summon an Fenok from the following cards, the Crane of Fenok, Horse of Fenok, or Faiz even, this card gains additional red and purple symbol. Or when you do a change effect for it, it also gains a symbol as well. So that means after you summon this on the first turn, the second turn you can most of your reduction for most of this deck's change cards will already be fulfilled for their reduction cost. Or when you're just summoning out for maybe like some of the smaller cards, it already covers for most of the reduction. So it's very important to have it out first on the first couple of turns. Moving on is Faiz 2. So this is also one of the cheap change cards that you need for this deck. Why? Because its change is only cost 3. 1 red, 1 purple. And when this spirit attacks, you get to draw 1. And the change condition is also very simple. Cost 6 and below spirit Kamen or Inferno Lord. And also at the same time, when you change the spirit plus 2000 PP. So making it quite... the 2000 PP is not very important, but the idea is that you want it to change out, you draw, attack, and draw, attack, and draw. And lastly is one of the spirit supports will be the Faiz himself. For Faiz, I only play 2 in this deck because one of the main reasons is that on summon, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, you put an Fenok, spirit Fenok, Faiz, Kaiser, Delta into your hand. You only can put 1 and the rest are sent to the trash. And in this case, because my deck has been a bit of a hybrid, so I don't think I want to get into trouble to throw out most of the other cards in this deck. So that's why I only play 2. But the other reason why I also want to keep this card is also because the level 2 and 3 allows it to be treated as a purple spirit as well, together with the symbol, which also in conjunction that helps plus Faiz. Next, moving on to my Nexus. My Nexus support, I will start with the most, not say least important, but the more somewhat helpful one is the Apollon Shrine. The Apollon Shrine, when it reviewed by a red card ability, you may put this card into your hand, which works together with the cost 3 Faiz. And when your opponent life is reduced by your cards, you get to draw a card. Yeah, but of course take note that it's not reduced per life. So so long they reduce life, you draw 1. So let's say you do then 3, you still only draw 1, just take note. But however, it does help with the drawing to filter out your deck really, really fast. Next, one of the key components to the deck is the Auto Vagin bite mode. So why this is important is because of the level 2 ability. The level 1 and 2 ability, I didn't use it for this deck, is because the flash effect allows it to bounce it back to your hand and summon an Auto Vagin from your hand. But in this case, because I don't play it, so yeah, it doesn't serve the main purpose to me. But the level 2 is the one that I really needed, which is during your first attack, you get to target attack one of your opponent's spirits. Let's say for example, if you use Blaster Faiz and target attacks your opponent's spirit, immediately the opponent's spirit goes into a blocking state, which will immediately trigger its level 1, 2, and 3 ability, where your opponent takes damage based on how many symbols Blaster Faiz has without flash timing. So usually when this happens, the game immediately ends if your opponent is on life 3 and below. Next is Smart Brain. Smart Brain is the deck's quick draw in a way. So what it does is that for its level 1 and 2, during your draw, the start of your draw step, you may discard a Fenok, Faiz, Kaiser, Delta from your hand, and then you plus 2 to your draw. So you draw 3 cards. So you draw 1, you draw 3, which is very, very helpful. So you will get to draw everything as soon as possible. and as much as you need. And for this level 2, it's just that this card is treated as a red card, a red Nexus as well as a red symbol. So it helps with reduction. And you can use it to turn it into a red card just for the reduction. After that, pay from there. Okay, the next card that is also that I play for the Braves is the 6 Radiant Gun Grandstein. Okay, this card is very important is because it has an ability called Reload. When a Spirit Radiant descends onto this card, you can immediately brave this card to that spirit, which is very, very helpful when you need to descend down Blaster Faiz. But of course, Blaster Faiz condition is cost 5. You can't do that. But here's the other thing about him. So his level 1 ability allows it to be treated as cost 5 when you Radiant Descent onto this card. And when it's Radiant Descent, when it's Brave, sorry. When it's Brave, when the Spirit attacks, you get to draw a card again. So helping you to draw and do additional damage for Blaster Faiz. So with this alone, if you don't have another Purple Spirit, Blaster Faiz will be hitting at already 3 symbol. Just 3 symbol from it. Because when Blaster Faiz attacks, you gain 1 purple symbol. But with this addition, you gain 1 more. You already has 3. So straight away it's 3 damage right off the bat. Very, very important. And the next in line for another reload is the Silkworm Gun. The Silkworm Gun itself is a burst card. When your opponent declares an attack, Spirit Ultimate declares an attack, you can destroy 1 Nexus. And if you successfully done so, you may proceed to draw a card. And of course, then other summon this card without paying a cost. And it also has the reload ability, which allows Blaster Faiz to Radiant Descent on because it's a cost 6 and above. But it doesn't have any on brace ability, but that's okay. But what you want is a symbol. And lastly, this is a very, very famous card. Everybody wants this thing, which is the Gun Dragon Phoenix Cannon. Very, very important card, this thing. And recently actually reprinted in the SD46. 46 or 47, but yeah. So basically this card, okay, is an Imagine Brave. When on summon, you get to destroy a 7k and below spirit and a Nexus. Or you may use another use the secondary ability. So of course, the second half of the text is you, instead of using the one before that, you can summon another red only Imagine Brave without paying the cost. Which let's say if you have 2 of them, you can drop 2 at the same time. But ultimately, it's the fact that it can brave to a cost 3 and above spirit and a cost 5 and above spirit, which is basically almost everything in this deck. So you can also brave it to like the Snake of Knock early in the game, and straight away descend into Blaster Faiz again. So helping to fulfill the condition without any worry. Okay, with that, so as you can see, this entire deck focuses on a lot of drawing to get out the parts that you need for the deck as soon as possible. And there's no defenses, like there is no limited barrier, no diamond wall, no any of those things, because one, this deck is it's kill or be killed. It's very straightforward. It's kill or be killed, and you don't want those cards to get in the way when you are searching on drawing. Although it's helpful when you have Alex, if I have an extra Alex put in this deck, but I wanted to focus straight to the kill, and the game really fast. So that's why I'm after with this deck. And also, with all the Braves that I play, all of them usually is either they can reload or they can brave to a smaller cost, allowing me to fulfill the condition for Blaster Faiz really fast. And so, okay, now that we're done, so this is how I build my Faiz deck, alright? You don't have to follow this, you build your deck how you want to do it because it's your deck, okay? So long you're comfortable with what you're doing, you know, right? Okay, however, if you have any further questions, feel free to ask us on our social, which is like Facebook, or you can even join us on Discord to ask all those kind of questions that you need to ask, okay? If you want to see more of this kind of video, you can also ring the bell just right at the bottom, as well as the subscribe button, okay? But with that said, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, alright? See ya, bye!